What is up? It is the mocha skinned manimal Rohit Raju. And I want to talk obsession. I have seen this movie twice. I wanted to see it one more time because I knew there'd be a bunch of things I missed. And there was. I don't know where the hell my head was at the first time I watched it. I enjoyed it. But there were so many key moments I missed. How I don't want to say Nikki was possessed, like in demon form, but she's definitely possessed by some type of entity. And I've seen a lot of, I guess you could say, theories out there. One of the things I like about this movie, number one, Indy Navarrete, she kills it. She is just so awesome. And she's like 5 feet tall, but she's such a powerhouse in this film. And she does such a great job of going back to regular Nikki and then obsessed Nikki, which I really loved. And there's a few things that I didn't notice the first time that I noticed this time, which I really made me like the movie even more. I like how they don't explain anything. They leave everything very vague, and they kind of leave it up to you as to, are you going to figure out what it is, or maybe not? Maybe it's your interpretation. Now, Curry Barker, I think it's his first movie. He's done a lot of YouTube videos and a lot of comedies, from what I hear, like comedic skits. As this is definitely not that. It has its funny moments, especially with Indy Navarrete. She does such a great job in this. There are moments that are very awkward, but it's funny. One of the key moments is like when they're playing the spin the bottle Jenga, and he gets to kiss the person to the left, and she just stands up. She has that pouty face on, and then she just slowly walks across the room and then slides Sarah back from the chair and takes her spot. It was weird, but it was very funny. It was, like that dark humor. The basis of the plot, it's really simple. It's been done before. Be careful what you wish for. He makes a wish. It goes awry, and it kind of goes out. It gets out of hand, and it goes bad. And I like how the one wish willow. It's a thing. It happens. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes people have luck with it. They don't. The lady even warns him, "Hey, don't come in here complaining." But I take it that no one's ever had this crazy of a issue with it before. Like even when his friend, wishes for $1 billion and nothing bad happens, it just starts raining $1 billion in his house. But this dude, Bear, wishes for Nikki to love him more than anybody else, and she becomes ultra obsessed. But not even just obsessed, almost like she's not there. It's just weird. I did see a theory that someone said that they thought she was possessed by the spirit of his cat, which could be an interesting theory. Instead of, because he throws the cat away, puts it in the trash, doesn't give like a proper burial or anything. And his cat probably did love him more than anything. He obviously had a very tight bond with Sandy, his cat. I'm a pet owner and pet lover, so obviously I could see that. But they had said that, he just threw the cat away in the trash, so maybe the cat was angry and made him eat herself, and then tried to do a shrine to the cat, and then of course eating a bug, but she also said stomach bug, but eating a bug, just kind of shitting and pissing and just waiting around until he gets back home. I thought it was an interesting theory. I don't think that's what it is. I think it's just kind of up in the air. I don't want it to be solved. I don't want it to be told. Obviously, this movie is making a shit ton of money, as in profitability, because I think it was only $750K to make, and it's already at $200 million. So, is rich. Like, he's good. And apparently he's tackling the Texas Chainsaw Massacre next, but I guess maybe I'm thinking of Backrooms that got the sequel greenlit, but they're probably going to do a sequel to this. I don't think they should explain the magic behind the One Wish Willow. There is a lot of signs pointing that she was possessed by some type of entity. I don't think a demon, because demons usually want to kill everybody and not really be want the other person to love them back. They kind of, they're demons, they're evil. Where this thing obviously was obsessed with Bear, but Nikki was still in there. You would see, like, in the very beginning when he first makes the wish, she's like, kind of like, oh, and all of a sudden she goes, what the fuck? She goes, I'm acting so weird. And then, like, her eyes kind of do this thing, and then she glitches right back to whatever obsessive Nikki. Whether she was possessed or a alter ego gets created, she's definitely not her. Like, there's that part where the pictures are being taken, and then the next day when she's writing on the pictures, she puts you, and then there's a picture of her and him together, and she puts not me. And then there's also those moments, like when they're about to have sex and she's kissing him, and all of a sudden she flees off. She goes, what? No, what? And then it's like her, like, flipping out, and then she goes right back to possessive, obsessive Nikki. There is the part where she is sleeping and she talks to Bear. She's like, please kill me. Please kill me. And he's like, why is it so bad? What is it? Why is it so bad to love me? And she goes, or be with me. Or he goes, why is it so bad to want to be with me? And she's like, I haven't been with you. As in, it's not been her. So I thought that was really cool. She even says, don't wake her, don't wake it, or don't wake her. And then I think at one part in the movie, she kept saying, it's coming for me, it's coming for me. So obviously, she is possessed. And then when he calls the 1-800, the customer service line, he's just talking to that guy, and he's like, oh, well, do you want to hear her? And he's like, what? Do you want to hear Nikki? And she starts screaming as if she's, like, trapped in this hell, or obviously being tortured, or her soul is going through torment. So I thought those little obscure hints were really well done. And of course, her fighting to get out, the whole hitting herself in the face at the end when she's all bloody. When she's like, why don't you love me? And then she's like, stop. And then she goes right back to doing that. It's like, I didn't catch that until the second time. I was like, oh shit, that's Nikki trying to get out. And then I did see, like, the one part where she walks backward all weird that had to, like, symbolize the struggle between the two entities, Nikki and then whatever the obsessive Nikki is. So I think, like, those little things right there, that was really cool, right? And like, this is kind of like a monkey's paw thing, to where you make a wish and then it goes bad, it goes haywire. And that's kind of what happens here. But I think it's just well done. I like how chaos reigns at the end. They do a really good job of building tension. Like, there's that awkwardness and that, like, secondhand embarrassment to when they're in the restaurant, and she starts going, no. She pulls a Palpatine, and she's like, no, we were having a good time. And she stands up, she starts being loud. It's like, no, sit the fuck back down. It's almost like that secondhand embarrassment. And the same thing too, when she just starts, she's like, stay in the bed. It's funny, but it's also just weird and creepy. And then I know there was a couple things, but I think they were more director's choice, to where her eyes kind of glow at times, but I think it's more like the dark hitting it, or the light hitting it the way. I don't think that's like anything. I don't think that's supposed to mean anything, as if, like, oh, look, she's possessed by a demon or something like that. I don't think it's supposed to mean that. There was another thing too. God dang it, no, I forgot what the other part was. That, when she's saying, why don't you love me, at the end, and it sounds like it's two different voices. That was kind of weird. So I guess, maybe it's an artistic choice, but I thought that was definitely, there was something going on there. I like that, though. I really like this movie. The tension was wild. Like, I kept expecting her to just pop up. Like, when the girl, Sarah, texts her and she's like, come meet me. I'm like, oh no, don't do that. She's already unhinged. Don't do that. And then just out of the blue, she comes, smashes the window open, and then smashes Sarah's face. against the brick until it's nothing. And then they didn't really, like, it's very subtle at the end. Sarah's body is naked, it's stripped, but then Nikki's drawing all the tattoos on her body. And I think she's wearing one of her dresses or shirts. I could be wrong there, but like she's trying to be Sarah because she thinks Bear likes her. And then I like how the obsession title is like a double entendre, like where he is also obsessed with her. Like he obviously knows she's not well. He obviously knows there's something up. And then when she's like, kill me, instead of breaking the wish, even when she does a bunch of wild shit, he still goes along with it. Even at the end, he pussies out, and when he was going to kill himself, he tries to, before the wish is made, he tries to puke up all the pills. It's like he can't do it. So he is obsessed with Nikki as well. And even though she's doing all this wild, weird shit, he keeps on making excuses for her. He keeps her there. So he's like, I know everyone's like, well, Bear's the bad guy. Pretty much, yeah, he is, but he's the obsessive one. And it's crazy how that is. And he just goes through all this shit because he wants it to work so badly and he wants to be with Nikki so badly. That's what he does. And I really love at the end how she makes the wish, but he already took those pills before he can puke. They're already in his system and he dies. And then when she wakes out of the wish, like at one minute she's crying because Bear died, and then the next minute she freaks out. She's like, oh, it's like she snaps back into it, and then she freaks out because she sees all the dead bodies and shit around her. And I like how it wasn't a happy ending. I like how it was a very dark ending, and I just think it's very well done, and it makes you wonder, like, oh, what happened? Like, obviously she's probably going to go to jail because she shoots their friend when he walks in the door. Gunpowder on her hand. I know I watch a lot of true crime, but the gun would be in her fingerprints. And of course, Sarah's dead. I don't know if that would, who knows? I'm sure they could prove it, but like she's in trouble too. Then who's going to believe her? Who's going to believe her that she was not of the right mind? Maybe she'll get the insanity defense, but who's going to believe her that, she was taken over by this entity or whatever? So I thought that was very cool. I like how it was done. It wasn't your typical horror movie happy ending. There wasn't like there was no weird jump scare. There wasn't like a demon that they were fighting or like a slasher. It was a very well done movie. The acting was really solid and spot on. And of course, the actress that plays Nikki, she does such a great job as Indy Navarrete. She's just tremendous. She's excellent in this. And I hope she has a lot of range. I know this shows a lot of range, but I mean other things too. So she does get work and she does thrive. Will we see a sequel to this? Like I said, I think they greenlit it already. Actually, I'm going to pause it and see. Give me 1 second. No, I am thinking of Backrooms. The Backrooms sequel got greenlit, but what's it called? Did not. The Obsession did not get greenlit. And I know his next movie is a remake of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Don't know how I feel about that, but I mean, I like the original and that's about it. 2 was cool for all the wrong reasons, but I did like the first one, and I the other ones just didn't do anything for me. I will say I like how the director, he owns up to how the movie doesn't really make sense when you break it down. Like Curry Barker, he does say that the One Wish Willow is a plot hole, right? Because if it worked for him, and it obviously works for other people, there'd be all types of weird wishes going on. And obviously it doesn't seem that way. But I would think like maybe this is just a one-off thing. Like, yeah, sure, certain wishes happen. Then again, wishing for $1 billion, that's one thing. But, I mean, I guess you could kind of explain it. Maybe there's a limited supply. Maybe people don't believe it. Maybe I know the one lady said, yeah, people keep it for a novelty. They really don't open it. Maybe it doesn't work for everybody. Maybe they try to break it and they can't break it. I don't know. I guess there's rules you can do, surrounding it. But yes, this obviously, I think it should be a one-off. Like, you can't really make a sequel. And if you could, I mean, is it in that world? Is it a direct sequel? How would they do it? I just think when this is the type of movie that it wouldn't work as much as we'd want a sequel to it. It just wouldn't work. And it seems like he probably doesn't want to be tied down to doing stuff like that. So he wants to do other things. And I think the guy from Backroom said the same thing. He doesn't want to be tied down. They're both like YouTube guys. So they both don't want to be tied down to doing this shit. But I think he is making a sequel to Backrooms. Another thing I liked about this movie, how it was very creative. I do like how it was very small, right? You had a very small cast, and the settings were just basic settings, and all the creepy stuff happened in the little hotel room, or not the hotel room, his house, or maybe like a friend's house. There wasn't like big budget sets or nothing. And it was very intimate. Everything was an intimate setting. But I just think this movie, it does such a great job. She was so weird and creepy. There was even one moment at the end where he walks into his house and you see her doing some weird, I don't know if she's sneaking, but she's doing some weird moving in the background, and they just cut away from it real quick and they never revisit it. Stuff like that, it's like you see it for that hot second and it's abnormal and they never touch it again. And I think it sticks in your mind a little bit better because you're like, ooh, what was that? And then they never touch it again. I like stuff like that. And I think the main thing I like about this, besides the actress, like everyone else was good in this, but she was obviously amazing. I like the fact that they leave it to your interpretation. I know some people are like, no, I want to explain. What was it? Was she possessed? Was it this? Was she in hell? What was it? I like the fact that you don't know. Because I always say this about certain things, once you reveal the mysticism, it takes away the magic of either the world or the character or the plot. Like once you reveal why Michael Myers kills, then now he's human. Right? You've made him human, where before he was evil. You had no clue why this little kid just flipped out and killed his sister. You have no idea. And now he's this unstoppable killing machine. You don't know what made him flip. He's just crazy. But once you start to, like Rob Zombie's version, you try to make us relate to Michael Myers. Well, now you've made him human. Same thing with like Jason Voorhees. He was going out on revenge and just becomes this unstoppable specter. You don't know why he's unkillable. You don't know why he's undead. He just is. I think that's cool, right? Same thing with Nightmare on Elm Street. Freddy's a child killer. And so they track him down and the parents kill him and they don't tell anybody about it. But for some reason, he's resurrected in people's dreams and he's like this demon, but you don't know what he is. It's not until the other ones when they kind of explain, like, oh, he makes a deal with these three demon creatures and dream demons. And it's just like, well, now you ruined it. You've given away the magic trick. So I like how they don't give away the magic trick in this. They leave the suspense and the imagination up to us. And so we can sit here and theorize about, oh, maybe she was possessed by a demon, or maybe she was possessed by an entity, or maybe this, that, the other, or maybe it was like a dual identity and Freaky Nikki was created, a real Freaky Nikki. Or maybe it was the cat. I like all that because we don't know. And I hope the director never comes out and says it. Leave it up to our interpretation and leave that a mystery, because that's something that can go forever, right? And I know some people are like, I need to know what it is. I honestly think it's just some type of magical entity that was created and it got out of hand. And it took her over and she was trapped in some hellish, like her soul was just in some type of limbo and she was in torment, I guess, but you would see signs of her trying to fight back. And I thought just the little subtle moments like that, like at the end, like the stop, and then she flips right back to being obsessed Nikki. I think stuff like that, it's like blink and you miss it, right? I love that type of stuff. Those little touches, that really goes a long way. I always say that, like in pro wrestling, it's the little things. We can have big moves, but how is somebody selling the move? How do they get into the move? It's the little things that make it important. And that's what I think about this movie. So Obsession, I know everyone's gushing over it, and I think they should. It honestly has done a really great job at the box office. It's made a profit. It's made a killing. I think it's like 3 or 4 weeks in, and it's just been a juggernaut at the box office. It's not making $1 billion or anything like that, but it's staying in like the top 5, I believe it is. So great for them. Good job for them. I think it's awesome, and from someone that was just doing YouTube shorts and YouTube videos, and now he directed this, I think that's amazing. And it just goes to show you, if you got the hustle, the passion, and the know-how, you can make it happen. So Obsession, did you guys watch it? What'd you think? I absolutely loved it. I highly, highly, highly recommend this. Go out to theaters and watch this. Support movies like this. And I'm going to give a small shout out. Please go support Masters of the Universe because it's bombing, which I figured it would, because it is really made for like the demographic of 40-year-olds and over. But Obsession, excellent movie. I really loved it. I love the kind of new lore and mysteries and theories behind it. It makes the conversation that much more interesting. Let me know what you thought. Sound off in the comments. Peace.